Welcome back. I'm Kevin Ring, the lead Workers Comp Analyst with the Institute of WorkComp Professionals. Preston's out of town this week, so I thought I would talk for just a few minutes about one of my biggest pet peeves that impacts workers' compensation, or at least businesses that have to purchase workers' compensation, and that is hiring contractors using the experience mod as a bid qualifier when they are accepting bids from potential subcontractors. So I imagine that most of you are familiar with this practice, but it's a situation where a hiring contractor, along with whatever other criteria they set up for their subcontractors, will say that your experience mod has to be below a particular threshold, most commonly 1.0, in order to bid on the job, or sometimes they will use the experience mod as part of a broader grading system to score potential subcontractors. And I totally understand and appreciate what hiring contractors are trying to accomplish. It is a worthy goal to want to make sure that you hire safe subcontractors, contractors that focus on safety. And part of that is, practical purposes of not wanting to have to deal with injuries on their job. And part of it is kind of PR risk management, because if there's a large construction job and something terrible happens on that job, it's going to be the hiring contractor's name that winds up on the news, probably not the subcontractor so much. So the goals of using the experience mod as a bid qualifier are not the problem. The problem is that the experience mod is not designed to be used as a metric for safety performance. The experience mod is designed exclusively to help price workers' compensation insurance. In fact, if you read the copyright notice at the bottom of an NCCI worksheet, you will see language to the effect of this experience rating is licensed to be used for the pricing of insurance only. Any other use is prohibited. But of course, since NCCI added that language several years ago, if anything, we have seen an increase in the prevalence of people using the mod as a bid qualifier. So it certainly hasn't slowed that down. So why is the mod not effective as a safety measurement tool? Well, the experience mod is designed to measure how much better or worse than average a company is based on their history of employee injuries, and by extension, the business they're in, the payroll that they've developed. When you have a relatively small business that's maybe generating $7,500 or $10,000 a year in premium, it might only take one kind of average indemnity claim to kick their experience mod over a 1.0. And that doesn't mean that they are unsafe. That might have been the only accident they've had in the last 10 years. But it kicks their experience mod over 1.0. A larger business could have hundreds of thousands of dollars of injuries and be below 1.0. And so without taking a lot of other information into account, you really can't use the mod to say, oh, well, this business that has a mod over 1 is not safe, and this one that has a mod under 1 is a much safer business. That is simply not how the calculation is designed. And it's our opinion that a much more effective way for contractors to accomplish what it is they're trying to do is instead to use a company's OSHA statistics. So you can look at the days away in restricted time rate. You can look at the total recordable incident rate. And these rates are leveled per 100 full-time equivalents. So it averages out the same across businesses. If you don't know how to calculate a DART rate or a total recordable incident rate, a quick Google will find you multiple websites that can help you or help a business calculate those rates. And then further, you can go to the Department of Labor and look at the statistics that they collect through all of this OSHA reportable data and see what the averages are for different industries at a very granular level. And so with these numbers, you can see very clearly if this company has a DART rate of 1 and this company has a DART rate of 3, the company with a DART rate of 3 is having 3 times as many days away or restricted time OSHA recordable injuries than the other business. And you can also look at the industry averages. Maybe the industry average for that industry is a 5 DART rate. So both of these companies, one with a 1 and one with a 3, are performing much better. And I was talking to an advisor recently about this subject, and he said he was talking to one of his contractors that does this, that uses the experience mod as a bid qualifier, and their pushback against using the OSHA statistics was that, oh, well, those can be fudged, those can be manipulated. Well, guess what? So can the experience mod. And in fact, these requirements about keeping your mod down are leading employers to do all sorts of things that they would never do otherwise. Not reporting injuries and paying them out of pocket, and trying to pay people when they aren't working to keep the indemnity down, which really shouldn't work, but that's a topic for another time. And the experience mod is much, much easier to fudge than those OSHA statistics, because if you don't keep accurate OSHA records and the OSHA inspector shows up and finds out that you're missing things, the federal government can get on you for that, which can be a much worse consequence than anything an insurance company would want to do. If you'd like to talk more about this, feel free to drop me a line. I can also send you an article that I've written recently about this exact topic that goes more into detail about why using the mod as a bid qualifier is a bad idea. It's worth noting that this is not just my opinion or the Institute's opinion. Obviously, I mentioned before that NCCI has said explicitly in their copyright notice that it shouldn't be used in any way other than pricing insurance. But their chief actuary wrote something probably 6 years ago now about how this was inappropriate. The Indiana Bureau wrote something in 2011 about how this was inappropriate. And it's something you might think if you have clients who are doing this when vetting their subcontractors, you might want to talk to them about better ways to accomplish what it is that they are trying to accomplish, because it is certainly weeding out contractors that probably don't deserve to be. Now, if someone has a mod over 1.0 and their OSHA statistics are also poor, well, then that would indicate they just aren't up to snuff safety-wise. But there's far too many contractors that are not getting work that they should, and in some cases being put completely out of business because their experience mod gets too high. So I hope that one day in the not too distant future, we'll be able to put this method of screening out contractors behind us. But in the meantime, we need to help your clients manage their experience mod and prevent employee injuries and get that mod as low as it can be, which ultimately is what the Institute process is all about. So thanks for joining me. We look forward to seeing you next time. If you have any questions, my contact information is here at the end of the video, or you can get me at 828-274-0959, kevin@iwcpro.com. Or you can set up a time for us to chat at schedule with iwcp.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.